Hey everyone, happy Thursday. And I'm talking today about the one thing that I want you to do to SEO your LinkedIn profile. And if everyone did this, I think life would be so much better on LinkedIn because then you would be easily found. You wouldn't be in hiding. There's over 360 million profiles. I think that's the latest tally that we have here on LinkedIn right now. And how are people going to find you? This applies to you absolutely if you're looking for a new job. But also, too, what if you are one of those people who you're happy in your current role, you're enjoying it, you think it's a good fit for you, but what if there's a better role that comes up? You never know. That would be more challenging for you, more impact, more income, more flexibility. It just would be a better fit for you. Change is the constant that we can always count on. You want to be easily found on LinkedIn. So that way decision makers, and when I say decision makers, I'm talking about recruiters, CEOs, hiring managers. You want them to find you when they have a need. And it doesn't have to even be an official job posting. It could just be a need that's starting to exist at an organization. So anyway, that's why this is so important for everyone, because think about it. Let's just take 100K as a salary number. Okay. Let's just talk about money, for example, income. If you're missing out on an opportunity where you could be making more impact, making more money, and, let's just take 100K as an example, because that's a round number or whatever. If there's an opportunity where you could be making 20% more and in a better fitting role, think about that, not just that loss of money for 1 year, but what if you are missing out on that? You could be in that opportunity for 3 years or 5 years or whatever, and really growing your compensation and growing your impact, growing professionally. So just really consider that, keep that in mind. And I'm going to get right into the heart of it with you so I can focus. I'm just pulling up my notes because I want to make sure I'm hitting all the highlights for you. So I know one of the things that I said is that I'm going to talk about the top 3 mistakes that I see in LinkedIn profiles. And I look at LinkedIn profiles regularly all the time. I spend probably about at least an hour a day on LinkedIn because I'm posting, I'm connecting with people. And by the way, if we have not done a connection call, let's do a connection call. It's important to me to, have these calls with my connections. So if we haven't done that, let's do that, because that way I am happy to talk with you and I can give you my feedback. I can do an audit of your LinkedIn profile to give you my feedback, and that there's no cost in that to you, but I'm happy to do that with my connections. And then I appreciate feedback on my profile as well. So anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about though for this LinkedIn Live. To the top 3 mistakes that I see in LinkedIn profiles is you're not telling me anything about your brand. You're just not giving me any information on your brand. And please keep in mind that attention spans are super short nowadays. We have I think the attention span is 4 seconds now, and it's probably going to get even shorter. So you really have to lead with your brand ASAP. Okay. So what is your brand? Tell me about your brand. And you might be like, well, Christine, I don't know. How do I say that? What do I do? Focus on what it is that you do. What's your superpower? And you also need to focus on how you are different from everyone else. Because remember, we have those 360 million other profiles that are on LinkedIn. You really have to hone in, dig deep on your unique, one of a kind brand. How are you different from everyone else? You want to hone in on that, pull it out, and you want to wave it like a big flag. Okay. You want people to see that and that will help you to stand out. It will help you to be sticky and memorable. But it really starts with that. So I see too many profiles that are generic and they're just like everybody else. And you're not telling me anything about your brand. So you need to do that. That is key. So that I would say is the biggest mistake that I see. Too short. Profiles are too short. You're not giving me now. LinkedIn does have limits. You can't just go on in the about section or in the experience section. There are limits in each of the fields on your LinkedIn profile. So don't worry about being too long-winded. You need to be focused on your brand and what you want to communicate. Okay. And then the third big thing that I see, the third big mistake, although I have to say, I see a lot of mistakes on LinkedIn profiles. And that's why I want to encourage you to get my one-on-one attention, especially if we're connected. And if we haven't done a connection call, let's do that. But this is the third thing. And this is the one thing that I need you to do. Here's the answer to the big question. What's the one thing that you need to do to optimize your LinkedIn profile? And the one thing is keywords. You need to optimize your profile for keywords. That's how you're going to be found. And, I think we make it more complicated than it needs to be. I can give you some tips right now to help you after I'm done with this training, to help you do some keyword optimization on your LinkedIn profile. And then after you make those changes today, I want you to make them. So I want you to do what I say to optimize your profile and make those changes. And then I want you to watch to see for the next week how it impacts, like how many searches are you coming up in. On your profile, LinkedIn will tell you how many searches you're coming up in. How many profile views are you getting? Okay. And then it depends on what LinkedIn you have. You might not be able to see your profile views. You don't have to have that if you don't want to pay that extra price, but it can be helpful. Maybe you could do it for a month and just test it out and see if it gives you value. So, but again, so those are the top 3 mistakes that I see on LinkedIn profiles is you're not telling me anything about your brand. It's too short. Your profile is too short. It's, you're not telling me anything. You're giving me, very, very little information to go on. And it's not keyword optimized. So, that's important. So I will tell you what you can do to do that. Okay. So that's the one most important thing you need to do to SEO your profile is to focus on your keywords. So, but first you really have to get clear on your brand. And when I do my, the connection calls that I refer to, or another way I refer to it is I call it my career clarity call. I will ask you, and I can ask you right now the question, how do you rate your clarity in your brand on a scale from 1 to 10? And why? Why do you give it that number? Is it an 8? Is it a 5? Why is that? It's really important that you have the highest number possible in your brand. Because if you don't know your brand, nobody else is going to be able to communicate it as well. Okay. Now there's things that you can do to get clarity on what your brand is. And I work with my clients on that, but you have to have good clarity on your brand. I would like to see your clarity at a 9 or a 10, because then that translates in your LinkedIn profile. Okay. Think of it as what you do and what's the problem that you solve. Again, it's what you do and what is the problem that you solve. Another way of thinking of it is it's your superpower. But again, you want to articulate it in a way where you stand out from all the other people that are out there. I have to say, I think many of you know, there's a ton of people that are looking for positions right now. The previous call that I was on, they mentioned to me that a CEO had received 900 resumes for one job opening. It's critical that you do everything you can to differentiate yourself from everyone else. And I love working on that with my clients. Many of my clients are marketing and sales executives. You guys are great at marketing and selling other things, but when it comes to yourself and differentiating yourself, that's where I come in to help you. So you have to clearly describe your brand. You want it to be sticky and to differentiate yourself from other people. And another way of thinking of it is how is your brand the solution? What's the problem that you solve with the opportunities that are out there right now, with the job openings? With every job opening, it's a problem. It's a problem that needs to be solved. Okay. So your keywords that you have in your LinkedIn profile, they're not just 100% on your brand, though. It's how you are using your brand to solve the problem, right? So it's the intersection. It's the intersection between your brand and the need that you fulfill, the value that you provide. So that is really the key on, again, the intersection between your brand and how you provide the value, you solve the problem, you provide provide the solution when there's a need at a company. So that's what is the key with your keywords. I'm not trying to be corny. By keywords are the key. And so now what do you do? Because I said that I would give you some practical things to do when this training ends, and I'm going to be wrapping it up basically in the next 5 to 7 minutes. So I need to get to what you can do. I was saying you have to be clear on your brand, and I want your brand clarity to be at a 9 or a 10. But then what about that intersection? How are you using your brand to solve the problem of that job opening? How are you using it to really fulfill that need? You need to identify a job description or a job posting that you feel represents your next role that you are working toward, that you really want. That's the job that you would love to have. So take that job description, and to make it super easy, you can run it through ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what are the 10 to 20 keywords from this job description? And that's like a summary. Those are the keywords from that target ideal role that you are trying to land. So take those keywords and then look at your brand and look at your LinkedIn profile. You can run your LinkedIn profile through ChatGPT too. And you can say, okay, Chat, give me the top 10 to 20 keywords that you see in my LinkedIn profile. And then you can see where the intersection is. Okay. And then you need to look at the keywords for what you're targeting and really be clear on that. Just excuse me. Sorry, I had to check this. Be clear on, those keywords in that target role, what are you missing? What can you use? What can you have? Are there any more of those keywords that you can incorporate in your profile? Where's the intersection? Again, it's the intersection of your brand with that need that you solve. So that's a key exercise for you to do. And now the keywords, the key the key for your keywords is you're having them in your headline, and then also in your about section and in your experience section. Okay. And in your experience section, especially, it's okay to be redundant with certain things, because again, the more a really juicy keyword pops up, then the more you're going to be coming up in those searches. And remember, when you run a search on Google, you typically only look at like the top results, right? Same thing for LinkedIn. You want to make sure that your name, that you come up as close to the top of the list as possible. That's important as well. That's what I would say. So whatever we can do to have your profile optimized so you're near the top of that search, that would be ideal. So I want to, encourage you to look at your experience section, do that, your about section, but your headline is really important. Your headline, to me, out of all three of those areas, is the most important. And this was the last thing I was going to touch upon about what your LinkedIn headline needs to say. Your LinkedIn headline is really like the summary of your brand. It's like your brand statement. Think of it that way. And you can have your brand statement in a variety of ways. You can look at different profiles on LinkedIn to see what you like, what you want to do. You can use a combination of keywords. You cannot use all keywords. If you use all keywords and you're separating them with the vertical line that's used in Boolean searches, you can have a statement. I think it's good to have a statement with keywords. I like that combination, because when you can give me a statement, a brand statement, like I am you could say chief marketing officer, and even to have an adjective in there that's unique, that's different. Again, that makes you sticky. Chief marketing officer, who makes brands come to life, something like that, something that's memorable. But again, it has to be unique to you. But you're telling me who you are. I'm a chief marketing officer. And if you're looking for chief marketing officer positions, then that makes it even more important. See, that's the intersection of who you are, what you do, and also what you're looking for. So that would be in your headline. And again, that's why that statement is important, to have like a brand statement, a summary, and talking about the problem that you solve as creatively as possible. So describe your brand, and while at the same time it's optimized, it has the keywords that it needs to, that help you to come up in the search. And the headline is just so even more important, because if you've done a search, we've all done searches on Google, and you're looking, like when you look at people on LinkedIn and you're using just the regular search, not like the recruiter seat search, but you're looking and you see the person's name, and then part of the headline is right there too. So the sooner you can grab my attention, as I'm trying to find you, I'm a decision maker, I'm looking for a CMO, the better. So that's why that is so important. So again, what I'd like you to do is get clear on your brand. If you need help with that, I'm here to help you, but you have to be clear on your brand. You have to be clear on what you're targeting. Okay. And then it all comes together by really using keywords. Keywords are the key. I guess that's our phrase for today's training. Keywords are the key, but you have to use them the right way to communicate your brand. And again, it's the intersection between how your brand is the solution to these problems that need to be solved out there, to this job opening that has a need that needs to be filled. So yeah. So if we I'm going to keep on saying this. I know I sound like a broken record here, but please reach out to me. I'm here to help you. And if we haven't done that call, especially if we're connected, I really want to have a call with all my connections. My connections are really important to me, and I'm here to be of service to you and to help you. And I hope you have a great day. And if we didn't get any questions answered, then we will circle back. We'll message you in LinkedIn and we'll get you information. Okay. And we should put the link to my calendar link if if we haven't done that call, so we can get that call and get you feedback on your LinkedIn profile. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye now.